Are you overwhelmed by fitness plans that say you need running and weights for hiking? My years guiding multi-day trips taught me that walking paired with easy strength moves at home is all it takes. So in this video, I'm going to show you an accessible routine, no equipment needed, that gets you strong and safe for any adventure. Why walking works. Your training foundation. So forget brutal training plans or fancy gear. If you want to conquer the track, start with walking. Over the last 34 years, I've found that walking is the single best foundation for hiking. Think of it like pouring the concrete slab before building a house. Without it, everything else crumbles. Walking builds stamina, strengthens your legs, and spares your joints from the pounding that running can bring. Though, I still love a good run. I'm running quite a bit lately. That's beside the point. Now, I learned this the hard way. Years ago, before I was serious about training, I prepped for a massive multi-day walk by just climbing the stairs at home. That was it. No plan, no structure, just stairs. And while I finished the walk, by the end, I was completely exhausted and my knees ached for months afterwards. And that was a turning point. I realized walking works, but only if you do it consistently and progressively. Since then, I've switched to daily walking commutes. So 30 to 40 minutes each way, rain, hail, or shine. And I've found I could hit multi-day trails with very little extra preparation. Here's how to make it work for you. Set a baseline. Start with 5,000 to 7,000 steps every day, then build up to 10,000. Stay consistent. Daily walks beat one big weekend slog. Warm up. Spend 2 minutes on leg swings, lunges with a twist, and arm circles before heading out. Loosen yourself up a bit. And this is all set out in my training plan that you can download down below. But here's the catch. Not all walking is created equal. Stick to flat pavements and you'll be caught off guard the moment the track turns steep or rocky. That's where a few simple tweaks make all the difference. Walk smarter with terrain and intervals. So if you want to crush it on real tracks, you can't just stroll on flat footpaths. Your body needs a taste of the wild. Back when I started adding more structure to my training, I began walking up steep city stairs with my hiking pack during my daily commute. I'd get funny looks walking through the city with a full pack and sometimes even my hiking boots on, but the payoff was unreal. 2 months later, I was on an untracked hike with a brutal penultimate day. 12 hours of climbing over car-sized boulders. The whole group was nervous about it, but because of that stair training and the daily commutes and the other exercises I'd done, I breezed through and I actually felt good at the end of it. That's when I realized terrain variety makes the difference between surviving a hike and actually enjoying it. And here's how to bring the mountains into your training. Hill repeats. Once a week, tackle a hill or a big staircase. Start with 5 climbs, up and down, and gradually over a few weeks, build up to say 7 or 8 climbs. Change the surface. Twice a week, swap pavement for gravel, grass, or tracks. Anything uneven. Intervals. Walk briskly for 5 minutes, then ease off for 2. And repeat this 3 to 4 times. And you can do this once or twice a week. This teaches your body to recover while moving. And if you're feeling strong, then add short bursts like 3-minute stair pushes with quick rests to give your fitness an extra kick. Rotate activities. On off days, you can go for a cycle, a swim, or go for a short run to keep things fresh. And to make this simple, I've put all these steps into a free training plan you can download down below. It lays out all the details from beginner to advanced. But here's the thing, endurance alone won't get you to the top. Every steep climb demands strength, and that's what we'll tackle next. Strength without the gym. Now, a loaded pack changes everything. Strong legs and a solid core are non-negotiable. Before my big hikes, I started training by gradually filling my backpack with bags of rice until it weighed around 20 kilograms. Sure, I got the odd looks walking around town with it, but when I hit the trail, every climb felt easier. And that same commute stair training that I mentioned earlier, well, combined with pack weight, it was a game changer. On that tough 12-hour day over the boulders, I felt surprisingly solid. Since then, I've made it a habit to carry at least a small pack almost everywhere I go. Always training, always building strength, and always ready for the next hike. Here's how you can build strength without a gym. Pack training. Start with 5 kilograms in your backpack and add a little more each week until you reach the weight you'll carry on your hike. Leg power. Twice a week, do things like squats, lunges, and planks. Keep it simple, body weight sort of based focus at first, then you can add your pack for extra challenge or a small kettlebell, something like that. Now, if you haven't done these types of exercises before or in a while, then take it very easy. You are definitely going to notice it in your legs after the first few workouts. I know once I have a break for a while and come back and do some squats, you really notice it. Downhill prep, don't just train on the uphills. So practice slow step downs or controlled squats. That's what prevents the jelly legs you get on long descents. Shoulder strength, well, most hikers forget their upper body. If your traps, those muscles across your back, aren't strong, your pack could dig into your shoulders. An easy fix is to grab something heavy. In each hand, you can grab some kettlebells or some water bladders, something, heavy shopping bags even with rice in them, and just walk for a minute or two up and down the driveway or up and down the street. This simple carry toughens your shoulders and makes your pack feel a bit lighter. But even with strength and endurance, you'll burn out fast if you don't train smart. And that's where recovery and mobility come in. Progress safely and recover fully. Now, here's the golden rule for building fitness without breaking yourself. Never increase your steps or pack weight by more than 10% a week. Muscle soreness is normal, but sharp pain, well, that is your stop sign. I learned this lesson after a big running race. I ignored the warning signs, pushed through pain, and kept running in the days after the race thinking I'd have a bit of a shakeout run. The result, well, I could barely walk for a week, and the pain lasted for nearly 3. Lesson learned. Recovery isn't optional, it's part of the training. How to recover right. After each walk, it's a good idea to stretch or foam roll your calves, quads, hips and back, and I found personally this makes a huge difference to me while I'm training. Twice a week, add 5 minutes of balance and mobility work. Things like standing on one leg, rolling your ankles, or simple yoga pose. Hydrate as well. Add electrolytes on hot days and eat good protein to help your muscles bounce back faster. When you combine steady walking, smart terrain, strength and recovery, you're not just training, you're building a hiking engine that lasts. Don't forget the taper. But there's one last step a lot of people miss. They train hard right up until their hike and then wonder why they feel flat on day one. Just like runners or cyclists taper before a race, hikers should ease off in the final week before a big trip. Now, that doesn't mean just do nothing. It just means dialing it back so your body arrives rested and ready. And I've got to thank Steve, a subscriber, for this reminder. He suggested I add tapering into my plan, which you can download below, and he was spot on. I've since built it in, and I know from trail running firsthand that it makes a big difference. How to taper for hiking. So in your final week, cut your walking volume by around 30 to 40%. Keep some short, easy walks so that you can stay loose, and skip the heavy backpack sessions. Let your shoulders and legs recover in that last week. Focus on stretching, mobility, and good sleep. And think of it like charging your battery. The training built the power, but the taper locks it in so you can use it when you're out on the track. And here's an extra tip. Most hikers do best stretching this plan out over 8 to 12 weeks, building steadily for those bigger adventures. But fitness is only half the story. Without key on-track skills, you'll still struggle. So watch this video up here next to discover 51 hiking lessons I wish I'd learnt sooner.